Hi, everyone. My name is Matt, and today I heard the news that Pope Francis has passed away. I wanted to give a short little speech about how Pope Francis is such an inspiration to me. My name is Matt. I live in Ann Arbor, Michigan, in USA, and I am a Christian who struggles with autism spectrum, including a learning disability, along with a cognitive disability. And it's very hard to navigate myself with these things. Um, the hardest thing that I struggle with my disability is when I get bullied or being put down, or when I deal with anti disability stigma that is being presented from some of my friends, people who I know, and people who are very religious, who like to use Jesus' name as a way to hate against people who are different, especially people with disabilities. Pope Francis has been such an inspiration to me because his advocacy and his support for human rights, including people with disability rights, and even talking about and while expressing the need for people with disabilities to be treated kindly, has been such an inspiration to me. Pope Francis's advocacy for people with disability rights helps gives me a voice when the world or when many people aren't advocate for many of our rights, especially mine. His advocacy and his ideas of wanting to help the poor, including the homeless or disadvantaged, has helped me continue to be a volunteer in my own community, where I work with some other volunteers on providing food, including grocery bags filled with canned goods to homeless people, including people who are poor or are disadvantaged in my hometown, Ann Arbor, Michigan. I try to do the best as I can to be a volunteer to make sure that homeless people, including people who are poor, get some food so they won't have to struggle with hunger when they deal with challenges of living in poverty. I try my best to live up to Pope Francis's ideas of wanting to help the poor, including the homeless, because I believe that people who are in those situations deserve to have some chance in life or something good in life. As a Christian myself with a disability, it's been very challenging navigating society because there are times where too many people who are very religious likes to use Jesus' name as a way for bigotry and hate against people who are different, especially people with disabilities, and how they want to use Jesus' name as a way to hate against common sense ideas like social justice, universal health care, and ideas to help the poor, including people who are disadvantaged. Pope Francis's vision and his advocacy about social justice, universal health care reform, the idea of having criminal justice reform, and many others has helped me continue on trying to feel okay, that it is okay for me to follow Jesus's philosophy, including his philosophy on these issues. I try my best to be an advocate for social justice because I want to see a community where we can be safe for many people who struggle with oppression, who struggle with discrimination, people who struggle with trying to get access to health care, even if they're sick or if they are poor or if they have a disability. I know many people say that these ideas are very partisan or are socialists, but as myself, as a Christian, and as a person with a disability, I believe that Jesus' philosophy, along with Pope Francis' philosophy about social justice, helping the poor, including the disabled, having criminal justice reform to help protect people's rights while reduce crime, including reduce wrongful convictions, having universal health care reform to help people who struggle with health care issues or who struggle with other issues to get the help that they need, and better ways to help the poor and disadvantaged or people who are struggling in poverty to get help, and also to have a comprehensive immigration reform where we can help many refugees, including immigrants, get help from oppressive countries and to give them a chance in life. I believe that these issues are very important in life, not only as a Christian myself, but for the world, because I want to have a vision, same as Pope Francis, of wanting to make a world a better place with social justice, a better place where we can have human rights without any discrimination or hate, and a better way to protect our environment, and to have a criminal justice reform that is better for everybody with checks and balances and a better ways to help reduce poverty while giving people access to health care reform. When Pope Francis was struggling with his sickness, I kept my thoughts and prayers to him all the time. I kept praying to God, saying that I wanted Pope Francis to continue to live on because he has a good idea, and I really admired his advocacy and his support for human rights, especially people with disability rights, and his common sense ideas and advocacy for social justice because they are very important for our society and for mine. I really want to say that I want to send my thoughts and my prayers to Pope Francis's family, the Vatican, and many people who are heavily supporters of him because he is such a true inspiration to me. I really appreciate his advocacy for people with disability rights, where it helps gives me a voice when the world is broken, when we don't have too many advocates. And also, he is a true inspiration for me to continue to be a Christian with a disability. I wanted to do good things and to continue to follow him and Jesus Christ's philosophies on social justice and helping the poor. I know that I struggle a lot with my disability in a world where it is hard. It makes me really sad when there aren't too many people who are advocates for people with disability rights, or even people who like to use Jesus' name as a way for bigotry or hate against many people who are different, especially people with disabilities, or even on good common sense social justice causes too. Um, and I really want to say that, um, again, that I am feeling sad that Pope Francis has passed away, that I've always truly admired and appreciate on how much he had the courage to stand up against his own religion when they wanted to use religion for hate and bigotry, how he wanted to advocate for social justice, human rights, including people with disability rights, because he wanted to make a world a better place. And I am so inspired by Pope Francis's vision, his advocacy, and he has helped me wanting to continue on trying to be a decent person, um, even if I struggle with my disability, or even if I struggle on trying to understand faith in a world where it is broken. Um, I hope that many people can be appreciative and understanding of me why I wanted to say a few words about why Pope Francis is a true inspiration to me. And I want really to say that it took me a little bit of a hard time to work on this speech because I wasn't really prepared, but I wanted to say how much he really inspired me as a person with autism autism spectrum and how he motivates me on wanting to try to do good things even though if I struggle with my disability or if people in general get mean at me or they bully me. Again, I'm thinking of good thoughts for many people who are inspired by Pope Francis, the Vatican, and even his own family. I'm always thinking of good thoughts for them. So I hope that this speech can help many of you understand about how Pope Francis's work and his advocacy has made an impact on me to try to be a human being with good principles in a world where it is broken or it's hard for me to understand. Thanks for taking the time to listen to me.